A miraculous win for the Baltimore Ravens in week 8. Had to have it and somehow got it to improve to 2-5. We're talking about how good it feels to win, and I say, and they're 2-5, but they are 2-5, so they've got that going for them. Project Game Day post-game show. Hopefully, more of the crew will roll in. Right now, it's myself and Ken Zales. It's brought to you by 1-800-GAMBLER and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. If you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Ravens win 30-16. KZ, I will allow you the first word.
It's an impressive win. Huntley played terrific. The defense, played well. This is a Bears team that had won 4 in a row. They hadn't scored less than, I believe, 24 or 21 points all season long. They got key turnovers today, the Ravens. We saw, do we call Mike Green unleashed? I mean, he had some pressures. He had a sack. It was nice to see. There was some timely blitzes. Um, and, in a must-win game, they won it. And everything's a must-win. I thought these two games especially, today and Thursday were must-win based on who they're playing. Uh, and you hope this is the formula. I thought I thought they both sides of the ball they had a good game plan. So
Well, I mean, I don't hope this is the formula. I hope Lamar Jackson is the formula.
well, but as long but you know
Lamar
what I mean.
Jackson,
As long
who?
as long as as
Save it.
long as Lamar is out and we don't know. I mean, nobody knows after
Yeah,
what
I've
happened
got to be
this
honest
week.
with you. You're going to miss me because I think Tyler Huntley was magical in moments. I'm still going to say the same thing. I don't think Tyler Huntley's good enough to think that he could win even another football game. I think if Tyler
No,
Huntley has to play more
I
football,
I
the Ravens are screwed.
I
Like,
I okay. I think look, we know what Huntley is. He played great today, and he didn't
I,
turn the ball over. And it if they can just not let teams put up 30, 40 points on them from a defensive standpoint and let Huntley do similar to what he did today, they can win another game against Miami. No, it's not a long-term thing. No, nobody's saying that. Nobody's even pretending. But what I am saying is nobody knows how hurt Lamar Jackson is. Nobody knows exactly what Lamar Jackson's injury is at this point because it was a hammy. Now it's a back and a foot or whatever it was reported. Who knows how it is and who knows what he actually did this week. So I'm just saying that if if
we're
Huntley
gonna right.
if Huntley is going to be the starting quarterback for the next game, I like the formula of what they allowed him to do.
To some extent, I still don't think you can win more football games with Tyler Huntley playing quarterback. But yes, he made some big plays today. I think that we also got bailed out by Rashad Bateman picking a ball off the turf early on when he wasn't in rhythm and allowed him to get in. And again, that's why I think this is a miraculous win, is because I don't think that you can count on this to happen ever again. But I do think you got it today. And if you can get Lamar Jackson back, then you've got a chance. And the real question is the one big difference is unlike the last time out, they actually got some pressure.
They
Um,
did.
the last time it was smoke and mirrors to say that they were better defensively. They didn't actually do anything better defensively against the Rams. They just got luck. It was actually less pressure than they had gotten when we went and actually looked at the numbers and found out they were 4.9 yards away from Matt Stafford. Today, they got pressure. Not historic, not an overwhelming amount, but some. And my God, the difference that it makes to just get any pressure at all clearly made a massive difference today. And you hope, you pray that that's something that can carry over moving forward because that is the biggest difference to me. The storyline is a team that could not get any at least generated a little bit of pressure today, a little bit, and that made all the difference in the world. Reeta has joined us. Reeta, your thoughts on what you saw from the Ravens today?
You know, a team that answered a lot of adversity. You know what I'm saying? Just coming off of the bye, in which they had not played well, and then the debacle of the participation and all of that stuff. Fans was just kind of spiraling, so they really needed to find a way to get better.
And add to that, Reeta, and a terrible start to the game too. It'll be forgotten.
In terms of the defense?
The Bears marching down the field on the first drive, the Ravens giving it back after 3 plays, and then the Bears marching down the field again. Like, they score a touchdown on that second drive.
They gave up 6 points, so we have to give them that. And look, I'm here to say that for the most part, I think Zach Orr called a good game today, and I think that we have to acknowledge that. Now, he kept using man on a doomsday more than I would have liked, because he is just so dominant. And Nate Wiggins, no offense to Nate, he gonna have to get in the gym a little bit because he ain't big enough for a doomsday to be, man coveraging him. But I will say that outside of that first drive, where I just was like, I'm really confused on what he's doing here. I felt like he adjusted pretty quickly. And I thought that they did well. And so I'm here to today say that, Zach Orr called a relatively good game today. And I'm also here to say, too, that Todd Monken called a relatively good game as well. I think that this is what this offense looks like without Lamar Jackson. And I would love to see them running more traps and running more of the things that they were doing that essentially we don't see much of when Lamar does play. So I really think that both coordinators did a really good job today. And I think that we should acknowledge that, because both of those guys, by all of us here on this panel, by fans and by media, have scrutinized them, rightfully so, because they put themselves in that situation. But sometimes you got to give credit where credit is due. And lastly, I maybe Huntley learned a lot when he was in Miami, when he went down there. But this didn't look like the same Tyler Huntley that we've seen in the years past, in my opinion. I mean, he was precise in terms of throwing the football. He was precise on his decision making today, except for that one throw, which I don't relatively blame him. I just think that would have been a good defensive play if Byard actually makes that catch and makes that an interception. I think that's more defense than it is Huntley. But overall, I thought that Huntley played a really good game. And this doesn't look like the same Tyler Huntley that I used to be extremely critical of. I would like to see this Tyler Huntley be Lamar's backup for years to come. If this is what that's going to look like,
yeah,
I know. Don't do that. Don't do that, Glenn. I think he looks different. I mean, he's throwing the balls. He's throwing the balls in between zones. He's throwing it over the linebackers' heads.
He definitely tightened up his motion. Like
1,000%, which was big for him. Yeah,
that part is definite. He is like that wonky load up. He has definitely tightened that up and gotten the ball out quicker. I still think he's limited. Like, you saw him airing it out, and you're like, wow. And then,
but I feel that way about most backup quarterbacks.
Then you realize, like, what was the one that he aired it out to the right, and you're like, that was somehow only a 28-yard pass. It just looked like,
for sure,
it looked like he really lined that thing up. And you're
why
like,
are you being so critical today, Glenn?
I was only
why are you upset?
I know. Right?
We do the same thing. Everybody wants to fire somebody when they lose. When we win, stop for a second, Ken. Let me finish. I didn't say that. I'm saying when the flip side, when they win, we like to anoint people. We like to go very high. I think the reality is,
I
didn't say you were. I'm saying in general, I am still very suspect. Today, Tyler Huntley played well. No question about it. He played really well. I hope he doesn't have to play again. I don't want to see more Tyler Huntley.
Okay, so let me say this. So when we talked about this, I think on the podcast too this week, the backup quarterback situation is just one that has gotten relatively worse, if you're not playing a quarterback that was formerly a first round draft pick. The talent level just it drops off extremely. So I don't think that me saying that Tyler Huntley playing well and I want him to be be the backup is a bad thing in the sense of like, well, when you start looking at the backup quarterbacks around the league, most of them are good, Glenn, unless they're the Marcus Mariotas, the Joe Flaccos, the guys that were, or a Jameis Winston, a Russell Wilson. Those are the guys that are backup quarterbacks that people feel comfortable with. But guess what? All of those guys was former first round draft picks. Right. You're not going to draft a first round draft pick to be a backup quarterback. So the Tyler Huntleys of the world, if they can play like that when your quarterback's not there, you just want somebody to not mess it up. Really, it's that simple. And today he didn't mess it up.
Today he didn't. Yeah.
But he looks different. I'm just making a point that I have to acknowledge the fact that, like, you and I both agree that his motion looks different. Something about him has changed. I hope whatever has changed, he can keep it up. And we don't have to have this conversation about Cooper Rush anymore or whatever. And hopefully one day backup quarterbacks can become really good quarterbacks and dependable. But right now they ain't, unless they're a first round draft pick. That's just the reality.
Hopefully you don't need your backup quarterback. And that's what I'm going to hope for that.
This is very true. This is very true.
Let's bring in our guy, Tyus Bowser, who is with us on the Project Game Day post-game show. Tyus, what did you see from the Ravens in an improbable victory today?
I seen more of a typical Raven team going out there playing fast, playing hard. You can see the offense is moving the ball very well. Everybody's contributing, and you could see the energy was there. Especially with like Roquan being back, you could definitely see how much more different that defense was operating, and that just tells you the presence of him having there is tremendous for them because it gives them organization, it gives them stability, and that's what you want as a defense. And when you're able to go out there and take care of business, go out there and make plays like a lot of those guys did, I mean, it definitely lights up that defense to go out there and play like we all know the Baltimore Ravens can play. And then too, I mean, like I said, Tyler Huntley played great. Now, can he do that again? If that is the case, that's going to be the real answer. Because, I mean, we can all have great games, but can you do it again? It's really going to actually tell us exactly who you are. So, I mean, Tyler Huntley played a great game. It was really good to see him just play so smooth out there, go through his reads, throw the ball accurately, and go out there and just make the plays that need to be made, off of that big-time run down the middle of the field, throws in the honey holes of those zone defenses. I mean, that's probably the best that I've seen him play overall, through the experience that I've been around him. So we'll see how it goes, whether Lamar comes back or not, but that was definitely a really encouraging performance, not only by Tyler Huntley, but really the whole football team.
By the way,
I just love the word honey hole, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm very immature, so every time I say it or hear it, I just bust out laughing. Because,
it's so funny is that's exactly what I was about to say, Rita. Exactly what I was about to say. And I remember like the one that you guys are thinking of where he dropped in right into the honey hole for Zay in between the zones was that's the best throw I've seen. Actually, ironically, the one that was incomplete on the deep ball shot where he somehow overthrew Zay, and I think that might be part because Zay wasn't sped up to it, not expecting
him to actually throw that ball down the field.
I actually thought that was the best throw I had seen him make. I was like,
seriously,
whoa.
Exactly.
And that one was incomplete. I said, that is wild, man. That's the best throw I'd seen him make. Tyus, you bring up Roquan Smith being back, and I do think early on he was making a statement. And he made a couple of plays. But I also think the other guy that was back today that clearly made a difference was Pat Ricard. And you saw that particularly, I thought, in the second and third quarter. Pat Ricard was shoving again, was in there, and I don't think it solves your offensive line problems, but my gut tells me it does at least a bit to mask some of your offensive line problems. What did you see from Pat Ricard today?
I mean, when you haven't had the guy around, I mean, a lot of people forget about him. And people who forget about him will catch a really nice drift once he comes back, and that's what he did today. I mean, me going against Pat, his presence is definitely felt. And for teams to not be able to have that film on him to grasp that energy, through film and watching him play, and to just come out there and do what he does, I mean, it definitely lit a fire in that offensive line and that run game. So, I mean, having him back is tremendous for that team. I'm happy to see him back on the field and going out there and doing what he's been doing for the past 6, 7 years, being the Pro Bowler that he is. So it was nice to see him out there again, definitely.
There was one, yeah. Cordell, this was TJ Edwards, is who it was. It was on a 5 yard run from Derrick Henry that picked up a first down. And I mean, TJ Edwards, I think there might be a hole in the ground at Edmund Bank Stadium from where Pat Ricard leveled him on that particular run. You bring up the fact that, everybody can have a good day. We were talking about the pressure, Tyus, because that to me has been the thing that has been most damning. And when we've talked about Zach Orr, that's the thing I keep bringing up, right? Is that I can't shake the lack of pressure. Today, it's only going to go in the stat book as 1 sack, but to me, you count both of the intentional groundings as sacks, right? Like that is absolutely as good of a sack. So to me, there's 3 sacks today. And I think it was something like 6 quarterback hits, if I remember correctly. Let me double check on that so that I'm not just saying, no, they only put down as 4. Still, to me, there was an evident difference in pressure. Do you think something legitimately changed, or it just happened to be the right day and Caleb Williams maybe held on to the ball a little bit too long?
I mean, it can kind of go both ways. With Roquan being back, that definitely sets the tone for the defense. And everybody's on one accord. Everybody knows what they're doing. And I mean, through the bye week, I'm sure a fire was already lit behind them to go out there and play Raven football, like everybody knows. So I mean, there was definitely energy there, especially having a week off. So I mean, that just gets your body back, that gets you right mentally, and it allows you to reset and go out there and play football. And then too, I mean, when you're able to put a pressure on quarterback, especially with him, that kind of rattles him a little bit, and that allows plays to be made on the back end to be able to give those guys in the secondary another chance to make plays or to disrupt things. So, and that's what you want as a defense. You don't ever want him to be back there chilling, going through his reads. Like you want to at least put pressure on him make tough throws to do whatever is needed to get him off of his mark. And I felt like that's what the defense did today. And regardless of how you see it, whether it was, the few pressures that was actually, successful or him just being back there being rattled. I mean, it works at the end of the day to get that offense the ball back, to get off of the field and allow your team to go out there and make plays and, score points. So that's all that matters.
Rita, KZ, I'll give you the same one. Did you think there was something different about the pressure, or like if you want? I think the Mike Green sack is the only one to me was sort of Caleb egregiously holding on to the ball, but that was a third down play, so I understood why he was trying to let something happen in order to try to get a touchdown. The sack wasn't going to take him out of field goal range. Where did you think the line was between there being a legitimate change in pressure and it just happened to be that one of those days and Williams may be holding on to the ball? KZ, I'll go to you first.
I kind of like how Tyus said. I mean, both things can be true. I think he did hold on to the ball. Your point about the intentional grounding, I mean, they might as well be sacks.
Yeah,
Is
those
a
are
good point.
sacks.
Is a good point as well. But I mean, I, I just thought, look, you can't oversell having your superstar players back. You can't oversell some of the blitz packages you could put together when Kyle Hamilton is in the right place and able to do those things. You can't oversell how good the second linebacker is, whoever's playing next to Roshan when Roshan's in the, when he's in the game. I mean, Teddy had his best game since the last time,
Yeah.
he was next to him. It just allows the defense to do what they need to do. And, making the trade to get that third safety that they've been missing, allowing Kyle to be that guy that moves all over the field. I think that's all part of it. I think you had a situation where, Williams didn't Williams this year, if you look at his games, like he's not making mistakes, but he's also not putting up, video game numbers. He's
Right.
just he's being a
Controlling
very
the game a little bit better.
controlling
Yeah.
the game. And the fact, my biggest thing is that early on, I know what you say. The first quarter, the Bears went up and down the field. The Ravens had the ball for 3 plays, but not allowing touchdowns and stopping them, for those field goals, that's a completely different game. If that's maybe 10-0 there or 14-0, I think those are big stops. I mean, I don't want to miss the whole, premise of everything, and that, the defense was great, but they had their moments. They put pressure on Williams when they needed to put pressure. They came up with a key turnover when they needed to have a key turnover.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's the best play of the year so far, the Wiggins interception.
yeah,
It's the play of the season.
for a team that doesn't create turnovers, I mean, they at least got the ball on the ground a couple times. They didn't come away with those fumbles, but I like the attitude of this team. We were very critical. We thought, a lot of guys tapped out and quit, and there wasn't that energy a couple weeks back. And this was a different. The energy was there from the start. But I take what you're saying to heart, Glenn. Yes, we need number 8 back. And yes, we need more of a pass rush and a more consistent pass rush. I don't know where that's coming from with the guys that we don't have on this football team anymore via injury and via trade. I don't know where it's going to consistent. I don't know where it's consistently going to come. So they have to manufacture a little bit more, in my opinion. I think the Kyle Hamilton, chess piece is the key to all of that.
Well, and to the point, one of the two intentional groundings was caused by Kyle Hamilton, right?
Correct.
So that essentially, to me, is a Hamilton sack. And what I would add to that thought before I go to Reeta is, by virtue of the result, we talked about, are they going to make a move during bye week? And there were people that argued you don't do that, because if you fall to 1-7, then why were you giving rid of draft picks for a season that's lost? If you can combine this, and obviously Miami looked a lot better today than what we had seen for the last month, but if you can go down to Miami and win on Thursday, and now you're 3-5, you've got that little mini bye, and then perhaps that's all that Eric DeCosta needs to justify the decision to try to go after an edge rusher. In fact, it might very well be that if Miami loses on Thursday and now they know they're dead, it's one of Miami's edge rushers that maybe makes the flight back to Baltimore after the game. We'll see. But I do think the results matter in making some of those decisions. This was the play that led to, we got to be careful showing some of these videos. I don't know how much we're going to get dinged for, but this was the Kyle Hamilton that led to the intentional grounding, as it looked like he was going to the tackle and obviously darted right back into the quarterback. Reeta, what did you make of what you saw pressure-wise?
I thought it was good. I mean, we saw Mike Green get involved, which is what, he was drafted for to begin with. And so it was nice to see him, just be active and going after the quarterback. Again, they were they had certain blitz packages and they were working. And I agree, KZ made a lot of the points that I was going to make, in the sense of, like, the trade for Gilmore allows them to essentially let Kyle Hamilton just move around and, be the guy that he's supposed to be, which is the Swiss Army knife, which is just being, diverse in what it is that he does and brings to that team. So I really thought that helped. I thought that, and I could be wrong here too, guys, but I thought that in terms of the interior, I thought that they did well as well, which then allowed the pressure to come, up the sides. I thought that Travis Jones had some good plays as well. But ultimately, I think it just really is about getting Roquan back, which is obviously going to bolster up your linebacking core, utilizing Hamilton more in those types of situations, which now you're allowed to do with Gilmore there at the safety position. And still having Van Noy still getting back, because he was injured early on as well. So kind of having him moving around. And again, Mike Green using him to get the pass situations going, the pass rush situations going. Caleb Williams has always been that type of guy. Like, he'll run around and he will get you for unintentional grounding. That's not new. He did that at Oklahoma. He did it at USC. It's a thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure it's something that people saw on film, which is, why he had 2 intentional groundings today. So it's, likely. But also Caleb Williams is the guy that can run around and try to extend plays. And we saw him do it a couple times and make plays. But the defense was still back there. And a couple times they held their ground too in the back end of it where, they were still covering their guys way longer than they probably should have. So I just think that obviously today the pressure has really helped. But I thought that the play overall, just on each level, they just looked inspired to play. And I don't know if that's just because you got guys back. I don't know what that is, or just, the play calling just really put them in better positions. It just really looked good today.
We can all have a giggle about John Harbaugh saying that
it wasn't an honest mistake, Harbs. Look,
God.
hey, bro, 1,000%. We know that you was trying to make sure that they wasn't preparing for Huntley, or whoever. We it's okay. You tried to finagle it, and you got
It's gonna be a costly honest mistake when the NFL dings them. With the world that we live in over the last week, I think there's a little bit more eyes on it.
Yeah, I don't know what the precedent is there. They'll have to figure that out. But the Ravens won, so I really don't care.
I don't.
That's sort of that's the type of thing that we'd be yelling about if the Ravens lost today, but they won, so I don't give a rat's ass.
So I'm gonna say this about that. I agree with you. Like I'll be critical of Harbaugh of many things. I don't really care about this.
Right. This is the one I'm not gonna care about.
I want my coach, for all the things he doesn't do well, in my opinion, he does this well. I want my coach to play the game. So play the game, like no big deal. But it's just comical to me. But that's the part that I just was like, just don't even answer the question. Don't say it was an honest mistake. Come on.
Whatever. They're 2-5. The season was at least momentarily saved. Project Gameday postgame show is also brought to you by the Costas Inn, and the all-new Costas Inn now open in Timonium at the Grandstand. Everything that you love about the Costas Inn you can find, with the only exception being they only steam crabs at the OG Costas Inn in Dundalk. But everything else on the Costas Inn menu available at the all-new Costas Inn, now open right there at the fairgrounds in Timonium. All right, a couple other things I wanted to get to. It's funny because I know KZ will probably have a louder thing to say about it, but Tyus, I'll go to you. Really interesting. A lot of us have wanted to see a little bit more Keaton Mitchell. And I'll be damned if we didn't see not even a ton, not even a boatload, but just a little bit more Keaton Mitchell. And boy, what a difference that seemed to make. Tyus, what did you make of their Keaton Mitchell usage?
I think they did great. I think they utilized them in the right way. Gave them those east to west type runs to help them hit that corner, which I was literally looking at one of the runs where he hit the corner. I was like, he probably has the craziest acceleration out of anybody I've ever seen. Just to be able to outrun people going east to west and get past them. You can't teach that, And I felt like the energy that he gave was great for that offense as well. He helped out very well during the special teams moments as well. So
yeah, he had 2 big returns. That's a good point as well.
Which is very big for that offense. So, I think overall, with the little use that he was able to make, he made the most out of it.
I can't make sense. I'm just waiting for whatever KZ is going to say here. I have no idea what he's going to say. And by the way, this is one that none of us ever argued about. None of us ever said that we didn't want Keaton Mitchell to play. It's never made. I can understand what they were saying, just the numbers thing, but it feels like you figure out a way to draw up plays for Keaton Mitchell, and you prioritize figuring out a way to get that guy the ball in his hands. Worth pointing out, there was only 1 touch for Justice Hill today, 4 for Keaton Mitchell, KZ.
And it was 1 too many. I want that touch. I'm sorry, I want that touch to go to Keaton Mitchell. Look, this isn't about Hill. It's not. Justice Hill has resurrected his career from very early on to become a very valuable player to the Baltimore Ravens. He does not possess the skill set that Keaton Mitchell does. Keaton Mitchell is a game breaker every time he touches the ball. He brings a different dynamic to this football team. I want more and more speed on the field all the time.
That's literally the difference, though. You talk about the skill set. You just talking about the explosiveness, really.
It's the explosiveness. He can do everything, in my opinion, that Justice Hill does.
I don't think maybe. With the pass blocking, I do think that.
He ain't pass blocking.
Okay. But as far as the screen passes, as far as the handoffs, he can do all of that. Get him the ball more. I'm tired of it. It's like every time he plays, we see a little flash of it. How does that become more of your offense as we go forward? I don't get it.
It could be.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I hope it is.
I don't get it. But we've been screaming about it. Like the most insane thing to me was that all they did is talk about how great he looks and Harbaugh, and it wasn't just speak. We saw it. We saw the explosiveness back. And then to be inactive for so many weeks and special teams, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather him catch the ball 1,000,000 times over Ali.
I would too. I agree with that.
And it's not about Ali. It's about the explosiveness that Mitchell brings to the team. And to say that we can't figure out a way to have that guy on the field, I'm sorry. You figure out a way to have him active every week, and you have a set of plays that he's gonna be utilized in, because that explosiveness, everybody sees it.
My dog
utilize
agrees with
it.
You, by the way.
I know. I'm not arguing with this group. I'm arguing with air, I guess, because or maybe a coach one day will actually watch our program and say, "Hey, I just there are things that I just will never understand," and that is one of them this year.
I knew that would be good. I knew what I was getting on that one. I appreciate it. And then look, man, I largely do understand the complication of it, that they think Rasheen Ali is valuable as a special teams player. They feel that way. And I do get that, like, there had been early on in the season a couple times where they didn't look so great in coverage. But you got to find ways to get the ball into Keaton Mitchell's hands. You have to prioritize getting the ball to Keaton Mitchell, because good things tend to happen when that's the case. I'll get to some comments here in a minute. Dave wanted to know, why wouldn't they just outright release Cooper Rush? Well, they needed a backup quarterback today. Why wouldn't they outright release Cooper? I mean, I guess the question becomes, if Lamar is back on Thursday night, then what do they do then? But they're also paying the guy a fair amount of money. I'm not sure what that decision will be. I don't think anybody is going to be trading for Cooper Rush, so I think you're kind of stuck with it. But as we saw, John Harbaugh said that they made that decision early in the bye week, according to him, to go to Tyler Huntley. And, of course, it paid off. They looked far more competent offensively than they have looked at any point in the season. From Joe says, is Trenton Simpson dead? I mean,
he was out there. Are we saying he didn't do nothing?
He's not. Teddy beat him out. I mean, what do you want to do?
I think that people thought that once Buchanan beat him out, we might see more Higgins inside and Simpson working as an edge. I think if they thought that Simpson was a good edge, they would have.
An edge of what?
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. Like, well, he did it a little bit.
I'm sorry. Look, I really like him, and I liked his college tape. He's not big enough to be an edge. What's he going to stand out there and get run over?
He did do a little bit of it in college.
Oh, my God. I mean, they're smaller in college. I mean, come on.
Well, this is true, too.
Yeah.
I'm not. Again, we sometimes talk about things, and it's not. I like him as a player, but come on, people. He got beat out.
John wants to know how much of this is the Eternal. How much of this was the Ravens, and how much of it was the Bears?
No, don't put that. Don't put that on the Bears. No. We're not going to do is that, because Adunze was getting off. Okay, every time that you saw Adunze in single coverage, Caleb Williams said, "Hey, I'm going to him. I'm going to 15." And guess what? He was catching that football. So what we're not going to do is that they had an opportunity. They didn't. They squandered their opportunity. Tyler Huntley runs this offense better because of his similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. So they looked back to what we are used to seeing this offense look like. And Zach Orr, similarly to how this went last year, right? Where towards the end of the year, we started seeing a difference in his play calling. Looked like he was calling good defensive schemes out there. I'm not putting this on I'm not giving the Bears nothing. Not giving them nothing. They had 4 downs. They had that crazy play at the end of the game where DJ Moore caught that pass and then had 4 opportunities to score and they didn't. So no, I'm not giving them a damn thing.
Rita, no. I think what he's saying is how much of this is that the Bears aren't as good as everyone thought.
The Bears just came from a 4-game win streak. We're not going to do that.
Wait, did I sound like Dennis Green there? Like the Bears are who we thought they were.
But we talked about this before you got on. I mean, the Bears had won 4 straight. They hadn't scored less than 21 points in any game this entire season. Look, we're critical. We can all be critical. It was a must-win game. The team came out with energy. Huntley looked as good as we've ever seen him look. There wasn't any atrocious play calling and tomfoolery. You know, they had an opportunity to do some tomfoolery. They said, hey, Derrick Henry's here. Let's give him the ball. Brilliant.
Things that they should be doing with the there.
Right. The things that we've been screaming about, they did all of those today. And having players back that are healthy helped out the situation, especially on defense. So they beat a team that came in on a 4-game win streak, who were feeling good about themselves, who were saying statements like, this is not the same old Bears team and stuff like that all week. Well, guess what?
Look, doing ads with ping pong tables. I'm not about to give them a goddamn thing. They didn't do nothing. The Ravens showed up when they needed to.
They got whipped today, and that's the end of it. They beat a team that was on a 4-game win streak, feeling all good about themselves. And now they have another challenge on a short week on the road to face a team that's going to be feeling good about themselves.
I think my answer to this question, John, is they have to. We're going to learn that. Like I think the Ravens deserve the win today. I think the Ravens were notably better today, but we're going to learn over the next couple of weeks. And I get it. We're going to all point out that the schedule is not all that difficult and the whole. But the Ravens,
it's a 434. I think a 441 winning percentage down the stretch. Currently, up until Cincinnati.
Defensively, like they couldn't stop anything for the first few weeks of the season, and so they've just got to prove that they can stabilize. I still think they need to be better. Like if we're talking about a team that's going to end up back in the conversation and is going to be playing in the postseason at the end of the year, I think they need to still get better than this defensively to have a chance. But they got to get there first, right? Like we're not worried about. I don't think we're measuring can they win the Super Bowl this week. Can they win a few games and
Go ahead. Can they not just kill themselves? Can they not beat themselves?
Yep.
You can beat. There are NFL teams. Look, Miami won a game you didn't expect them to win, but again, when you look under that, they were facing a team with a backup quarterback who clearly can't play in the NFL anymore. He's 38 years old and he's slow.
I don't even want to hear that. This is the same Atlanta team that put up 0 points against the Panthers. They are liable to drop a doo-doo somewhere every now and again, and they did it again. This is their second turd that they've dropped, not like a 0 turd, but a turd, a dump. Okay,
and
no matter who's the quarterback.
And the Bengals are still who they are. They have no defense.
They
have no defense.
Henderson ended up going out of that game anyway. So now
they
you
have
really
no
have
defense.
no pass rush.
They just lost. Everybody feeling good. Oh, Joe Flacco fixed the Bengals. Joe Flacco just lost at home to the Jets. The Jets stink. Cleveland stinks. Like you don't. I want Ravens fans to understand. They just have to not beat themselves to right this ship.
1,000%.
I'll take that.
The division stinks. The Steelers aren't any good.
They just not
Come
messing
on.
up. They just not
They-
The
they
Steelers
lost-
do enough them not
The
mess up.
Steelers lost at home to the Bengals, and the Bengals just lost at home to the Jets. This division is still right there. Just write yourselves.
It's
don't
right
get
there
cute.
as long as
Don't get cute.
yep.
Don't
as
get cute.
long as you are a little bit better. Game Day Men's Health, Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Complimentary testosterone test. It's free. You're feeling sluggish. You're feeling run down. You're a man of a certain age. Just find out. The worst that can happen is you get an answer and you get moving forward with a treatment plan. If you're not low T, you might still be able to benefit from like peptide proteins that can help you out and just make you feel a little bit better. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Locations in Owings Mills, Columbia, and Frederick. Get that complimentary testosterone test today. Yeah, Ed says, how panicked were you when Ronnie Stanley went down? Yeah, that looked bad.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That looked bad. I thought for sure it was a bad one. Thankfully, he was back in shortly after that, and all was good. I don't think anybody got hurt today, actually. I think
Yeah, like a couple people.
Marlon went down at one point, but then he came back.
Both of them came back. Yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing in here because somebody's windmilling at the Broncos. Yeah, I wasn't laughing at Ronnie Stanley getting hurt, by the way.
I know who that is.
RJ Harvey to the house.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for those that don't know, Rita's got a Broncos fan very close in her life.
My boyfriend's a Broncos fan, and he can't yell because I'm doing the post-game show, but he was in here jumping up and down, so I was like, what's going on? Anyway.
I get it.
So yeah, I agree with everything KZ said. Like the division stinks, nobody's really good. If the look, even with this defense being the way that they are, if Lamar was healthy, we wouldn't even be having this conversation for real, in terms of like how we feel about getting a chance to find a way back, right? I mean, I think it's still up in the air because we don't know if, Harb says hopefully Lamar plays Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done. I think I'm done listening to anything that John.
Were his lips moving?
Whatever. But now I think people feel a little bit better about that situation and if Lamar can come back, within the next 2 games between now and, like you said, they have a soft bye week after the Miami game, and then they play in Minnesota. Then look, they could get right back at it. They really could get right back. They play the Jets, the Patriots. The Bengals somewhere within the next 4 weeks. They could be right back at it. And they are 1-0 still in the AFC North.
True. By the way, I just live watched the Ravens become the favorites again in the AFC North. Straight shoot. I went to check to see what it was, and it was both the Ravens and Steelers at plus 120. And then literally as I was watching it, the Ravens moved to plus 115. So the Ravens again in this moment are the favorites to win. Now, part of that is
1-0, baby, 1-0.
Undoubtedly, that's because the Packers are favored against the Steelers tonight. So if the Steelers win that game, they almost certainly become the favorites again. But in this moment at 4:47 p.m., and if the Steelers lose tonight, the Ravens. Oh, somebody's betting right now. Is Griffin doing? Maybe it's Griffin that's betting right now. It just moved back to even. It just moved back to even. Someone just bet it right now. Anybody know where Terry Rozier is right now in this moment? Is he watching this show? Because that might be the reason why the number. And you know what? That's a good opportunity for me to remind everybody that if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org. If you are friends with a professional basketball player that needs to make a phone call, tell them they're not that number, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some literature.
That's right.
On the subject.
Right. Are you sure?
Yeah. F it. I guess I could say the other thing, but I'm not going to choose to. Everybody's happy today. Life is good today.
Look, I was getting ready to say.
Yep.
Take it in now. They play in 4 days, and One Eye Tua was out there balling today. So
24-hour rule. You get to enjoy it until tomorrow morning.
Until tomorrow morning, you get to enjoy it.
Tyus, why does it feel like the short week and Miami have been a problem for the Ravens? over the years? Why does it feel like that combination of short week in Miami has been bad?
I don't know if it's just the heat. I don't know if it's Miami itself and all the distractions and temptations down there. Just the spotlights, or it could just be it's just Miami. Who knows what it is, but I know for sure through the past few times I played Miami, it's always been an issue. So we're going to hope that this is not the case coming up this upcoming Thursday.
And again, you hope that Lamar Jackson is back and ready to go. The Dolphins did beat the Falcons 34-10 today. Tua did throw for 4 touchdowns after we had all thought that maybe it was over for him when he said last week he was just tossing the ball up down. That was a really weird thing for him to say, but it's been a lot of weird in Miami this year, and yet they put it all together and got a road win today. All right. Anybody else? Anything that we didn't talk about that we need to cover? We good?
Tyus, is there any benefit to not having Derrick Henry on the field on 4th downs, whether you're going to run a play or not? Why, if they're trying to get the Bears to jump off sides, don't you think that would make the defensive line more antsy, knowing that 22's back there, and then
are you talking about
Justice
the 4th and 5?
When
Yeah,
they
4th
tried
and
to
5.
when they went on a hit and punt it.
I mean, I'll let Tyus finish, but you don't think there's a I almost think it would be worse
Well,
to
if you're
have
not
Derrick
going
Henry on.
if you're not
because
going
I
to
think
run a
it
play, why not put?
But you're not running the ball on 4th and 5. If you're running a play, you're not handing the ball off in the middle of the field.
They would never expect it.
Yeah, that is true, but I wouldn't be doing that. No, not no 4th and 5. Maybe like
Never
4th and
okay.
2. Maybe like 4th and 2. I'd be like,
they was never going for it. He
they wasn't
he
going
did his
for it.
arms like this to like say.
But what I'm saying is,
anyway.
I think if you put Derrick Henry on the field, it actually makes it more obvious that you're not going for it. They know you're
Think
not.
So?
You're not handing the ball off in the middle of the field
on 4th and 5.
Not on 4th and
That's
5.
insane.
Well,
Like I said,
yeah, but you would think you're getting 22 involved some way, and then it's just another guy to. I don't know.
I don't feel. Can I just say?
If you do run a play, I want Henry. Yeah.
Okay. I don't feel any way about that whole scenario, but I just want to ask a question. And I know it all worked out because they got the pick and everything. Was anybody a little surprised that they didn't kick a field goal there?
Yeah, it's
it's 58. It's not a gimme.
It's not even 58. It would have been.
I was glad that they did that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't want it.
But here's the thing, and again, I don't want to bring up the past, but if it was a year ago, 2 years ago, the kicker was trotting out on the field. I'm just.
Well, of course. But we also know that that's not what you have. This is a really interesting scenario because at some point you've got to figure out if this kid can make those types of kicks.
Correct.
And so,
it all worked out. You got the pick and I just, you had an opportunity to make it a 6-point game versus a 3-point game, force them to score a touchdown versus getting in field goal range if it all, kind of went crazy. I just, again, I don't feel any which way about it, but I was a little surprised.
I definitely thought through it a little bit. I'll tell you, I did think through it a little bit. Like at some point, you might have to have this guy make a 56-yard field goal and in a game that matters at the end of the game, and it might be nice for him to know that he can make a 56-yard field goal beforehand in order to do it. Does that mean that that's what you should have done? Today, you could argue the defense was playing well enough that you were comfortable.
That's what I was
Yeah, that you were comfortable saying, let's not mess with it. But uniquely, it's at some point you do have to figure out what you have in this kid. Like, you got to figure out if he can kick or not. And right now, like the first one, what was the first one? Like 42.
Hey man, and originally I was like, hey, did that even make it?
He had 2 of them like that.
Yeah, off his foot. I thought he missed it.
So I do have some questions about him as a kicker. I also we give Jordan Stout a hard time. I don't think he's been very good for the most part during his time as a Raven.
He was good today.
Today was a good day.
Yes, and obviously the punt right there, and I get it. Like you're punting from midfield, you better be dropping that inside. But he did. He executed exactly what they need in that moment.
Hey, KZ, you was okay with that? You was okay with that, KZ? That made you happy?
Which one?
That punt inside the 5.
Oh, it's about time.
I love that Tyus.
You're not going to get me that easy.
I love that Tyus is figuring out KZ too.
Yeah,
I'm learning them now.
I love it.
You learning me.
Tyus,
Derek,
this is
I will never be a fan of that kid. I mean, not personally. Just he's not a great punter, but he had a good day today.
well, hang on. If he becomes a great
Sounds
punter, then I'll be a big fan of it.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's
Yeah.
not. He's not consistent enough
He's
to be a
not
great
been good.
punter.
You got a compliment out of him, though. I got a compliment out
Yeah,
of him.
you got a
So.
compliment. I
Tyus,
will
if you
always, when somebody is good, I will give it to them. It doesn't mean I change my opinion overall. We all have good moments. I've been told I have one or two in my life, but it's known to happen. But I just, I think consistently, it's not good enough for me, and I'll still be one of the surprise things of the offseason that they didn't bring any competition in for him.
Tyus, what you have to watch out for with KZ is you can get him on names. Like he definitely called Roquan Roshan today
Oh,
on
I
the
noticed
Yes,
postgame.
you
it.
did
I
twice.
noticed
No,
it.
Twice.
I don't
I
know.
wasn't going to say anything, but I
You want
noticed
you
it.
want to know?
That's
No,
KZ
forget
though.
it. Forget it. You want to know something? We were listening to it. My son and I were listening to a program um this weekend, and a guy on
What
the
are you,
on the
80?
radio.
I was
No,
listening to my program.
no. I am 80,
You're
but
100 years old.
I didn't want to say the name of the radio show that I was listening to, but the guy made a mistake with two names, and Jonas like he's awful. I was like, hold on now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you
Hold
can't be judging people on
You
that.
can't. That's exactly what I said. I was
KZ would
like,
never
I
work
am the.
again.
Yeah, never ever again.
Hey, listen, KZ was still calling the Pac-12 the Pac-10 for like the longest time. I'm saying, yeah, KZ,
Hey.
they done had two more teams for the last 4 years.
He knew that was going to happen. What you should really do, Tyus, is ask KZ if he's firing John Harbaugh today. You should really try to get under. Haven't heard that today, huh? Nobody's
Hey, we
trying
won today, so I think you're supposed to be
to.
promoting
Oh,
somebody.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
who you
That is the way it
promoting
works. Who you
today? Who you
promoting,
promoting
KZ?
today?
Who you
I don't
promoting?
know who I'm promoting. Keith
Tyler
Mitchell.
Hunt. Oh,
Yeah,
Keaton
well,
Mitchell. Yeah,
okay,
big time.
that's a
Okay.
Big
good
time.
one.
Okay, I get you.
That's a good
And you
one.
know what? And that's legit because he should be promoted to more snaps.
Yes.
We all agree with
Yes.
that. That is legit. We're all on board with promoting Keaton Mitchell.
Yes.
All right. Don't forget the best pay next Sunday. There's no Ravens game, so just spend the day inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Incredible atmosphere, fans of all the teams, everybody living and dying over every play. It's an awesome place to just hang out and watch games. So do make your plans for next Sunday to hang out at Sports and Social. There's my 8-year-old. He was camping last night. He gave up. It got so cold that when he woke up again at 3 a.m, he gave up and just crawled into my sleeping bag. He just said, and you know what? I wasn't even mad because it was cold. I was like, "You come right on in, buddy. Like, you come right on in.
Go ahead and give me that body
We're
heat.
gonna trap some body heat right now, man. Like, I am good because it was cold as hell at Cub Scout camping last night. Man, it couldn't have been colder. You remember Mr. Tyus? You remember? Mr. You can say hi to Mr. Tyus. Oh man, you can say hi. Say hi. It's okay.
What's going on?
You remember sitting on his lap at where were we for that show? Where did we do that show in Timonium? We were
Oh
at
yeah,
Mother's.
mothers. We're
At
mothers.
Mother's, yeah. We were at Mother's, hanging out. You remember that? All right. Love you guys. We Thursday night, late night show. We'll be hanging out with you immediately following Ravens Dolphins. Appreciate
Hopefully
all you
after a win.
Yep.
2-win. Come on, let's go hit this
Let's
2-game
make
win
it
streak.
happen. Let's make it happen. All right, we will see you then for the